Good evening, good day. This is another edition of Pinup Party. I am Skipjack. I apologize for being away, not really being available to the members of the community. Try to do the best that I can from my iPad. Sorry, putting chapstick on. Getting answers out to you when I can. Looks like the moderators have been doing a pretty good job getting you the information that you need when you needed it. But there's something I'd like to discuss with everybody in this video because I'm a player first and a moderator second. And although I do represent Kixeye and the company, the game company Kixeye, I also am a player, and I've played every game that Kixeye has, all the way back to when they were Casual Collective, and they had a game called Desktop Defenders. I have not played War Commander as long as all of you have. I've been a moderator for more than 8 years. That was as of January. I was a moderator for all of Kixeye games for a short period of time until management decided to grab a bunch of us and say, no, you go here, you go here, you go here, and you all got stuck with me. Or, for those of you who like to call me the Queen of War Commander, you all got blessed with my presence. Isn't that lovely? So I'm going to speak today as a player because I am pissed off. Like beyond pissed off. I'm not pissed off at any of you. I'm just pissed off. So, for those of you who've been playing the game longer than I have, I'd say I've been playing regularly for about 7 years. Hardcore, 6+ years, but regularly 7 years. I was under the tutelage of Jano, if you guys remember Jano, back in the days of Rocket, Data King, and some of those other guys from Sector 32. I was born in Sector 32, that's where my base was born, and then we all moved to 27, and we took over 27. I say we took over 27. Obviously, the people who are in 27 right now are in full control of their sector. I don't mean any disrespect by those people. What I'd like to talk to you about is things that happen during maintenance or downtimes. And I know that those of you who have been playing this game for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years, yes, there are those of you that have less than 1 million IDs that have been playing this game before there was a world fucking map. Yes, that's how pissed off I am. So, I know that you know, and off the top of my head, since I've been busy dealing with my own health problems and trying to deal with my own personal life, that off the top of my head, I cannot remember what those units are. I could probably go to my laptop or one of my other hard drives somewhere and dig it out on a spreadsheet and tell you which units they were, but I'm not going to do that right now. You could probably tell me yourselves in the comments when this video is finished. I would like to talk about the Nick. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that Nick nerfing. Let's talk about when we had a maintenance and everybody in the community on KXL, on the Facebook pages, on Discord, all of you were complaining about Nick being nerfed. Now, mind you, I wasn't using Nick as much, other than to do metal bases on Ruby with a caretaker. I really wasn't using my Nick like you guys do. You all know that I don't PvP like you do. I don't use him in defense like you do. I'm just not that skilled like you guys are. But you play this game every single day, day in and day out. Maybe, perhaps, we play this game more than we should. Kixeye's responsibility, in my point of view, not as a moderator, as a player, is to provide us with content. And then when we come up with something that we realize is a little off, or something looks like it's nerfed, or there might be a glitch, or there might be a bug, then we put our collective heads together and we say, look, this is what we found. And we send that off. And we hope that they're able to recreate what it was that we found, and they fix whatever it is that we found. Okay, that doesn't always happen now, does it? Of course not. If it did, I wouldn't still be a moderator, would I? We wouldn't still know one another, would I? No, Because if Kickside got it right all the time, you wouldn't need fucking moderators, would ya? Nope. So I'm not lying. But there was a sector leader, and I prefer not to give her name, nor the sector, and I that had a conversation about Nick's nerfing, and we kind of bantered that back and forth, and I did my best to try to test. Again, I was not at 100% personally health-wise. I'm still not at 100% personally health-wise. I don't want you guys to feel sorry for me or upset for me. If you believe in prayer, please do say a prayer for myself and for my husband, because it's been a very difficult time. But other than that, this has got me so fired up that I had to make a pinup party video, okay? There is no doubt in my mind that right before the Ryukai event, whether it was the loading of the event, or it was the maintenance before the event, or it was the removal of the AI box, I don't know. Because I'm not a Kicksai employee. I am not representing myself as a Kicksai employee. I am representing myself as Skipjack, the player of War Commander games for more than 10 plus years. Yes, I have money invested into this game. Yes, I have time invested into this game. I'd like to be able to have all that time back and apply it to something else, like a beach somewhere and a condo with a drink in my glass and a cabana boy fanning me saying, "Is there anything else I can get you today, Queen of War Commander?" That's where I'd really like to be. So let's talk about Nick. Okay, let's bring up a picture that I have of Nick. Now, this came from compliments of Samar, JB Samar, and I did not ask his permission before using this picture, but I'm going to bring this one up because it's so big and it's so large. Ooh, I said big, didn't I? It's big, it's large, and it gives a lot of information about the Nick. Now, there are a lot of you who never got the Seeker Diamond Tech. When the Seekers first came out, before Nick actually became a powerhouse, a lot of you didn't participate in being in an alliance. And even if you did, you didn't get the Seeker Diamond Tech. So I do understand that there are some of you that don't understand why your Nicks don't perform the way our Nicks do, because you don't have the Diamond Tech, or you don't wait the time that it takes to get that Diamond Tech to level 4. I promise you, you will not be disappointed if you put the Nick Diamond Tech on. Okay? So this is what your Nick should look like in most cases. Obviously, you can switch your hero tech depending on what it is that you use. But I'm using Samar's picture because it's big, it's detailed, and it's easy to read. Samar, thank you so much for allowing me to use this without your permission, but I think maybe you'll give me a pass on this one. Okay, I do want to note also here that remember that on Talent 1, the clip size, it gains an extra clip size just at the level 1 talent, okay? So for those of you who just got Nick, just getting him to level 1 and then getting him to level 2, it automatically gives you an extra clip size. Now, I'd like to read to you. I don't have those exactly right in front of me, and I would prefer not to put them on the screen because it was part of a conversation that we had in an unofficial War Commander chat, which was on a Facebook page, and I didn't ask all those people who were involved before I did this video if I could use their names. I promise you, if I PM them and asked them, I'm sure they would have said yes, okay? But because it's more than 40 people, okay? So the way that the narrative went was because when we all realized that there was something wrong with our Nick and we were all trying to figure out what it was, and again, I wasn't feeling well, so I wasn't able to give 110% to try to find out what the hell happened to our Nick, of all things. I wasn't even looking at the other units. I was just wondering, why are all these people, and there were hundreds of you complaining that your Nick had changed. And you were sending in tickets, and you were sending in videos, and how can you prove something changed during a maintenance if the maintenance happens at, say, I don't know, 1 o'clock in the afternoon kickside time? Who sits there for hours on end saying, "Oh, I need to video everything my Nick does in every base right now, because in case there's a maintenance, it might get fubarred"? Who does that? Nobody. The reason why we realize is that it seemed like Nick was nerfed was because we know how our unit is supposed to perform. And when it doesn't perform the way that it's supposed to perform, then we go looking for the reasons why. The most easiest thing to do is to take your unit, and has worked before in the past, and I know you guys know what I'm talking about, is just to take your Nick, take your unit, unequip it, and then refresh your game, load back into the game, and then re-equip your unit, and then it's right as rain and everything is fine. We don't know why that happens, but tell me that it's never happened. Tell me that you've never been into maintenance, and all of a sudden something that you have all of a sudden seems like it's nerfed, or it doesn't work right, or it doesn't function right, or I don't know, remember the Mikey tech or the hero tech all of a sudden didn't work right? Do you remember that one? Did anybody video their Mikey for months before that maintenance happened? And then when the Mikey didn't work, then video it and say, look, it's not working like it did months ago? No! Who has time for that? Of course not. But I thank everybody who did put their information together about the Mikey to prove that his hero tech was not working as intended. We got that information over to Big Dog, and Big Dog said, oh, for flying out loud, I see what's happening. Let's see if we can get a fix applied to that. And it was fixed, I think, on the next maintenance. I know it was not fixed the next day. So I think it was fixed on the next maintenance. Okay, so for instance, when it comes to the Nick, these are the notes from Samar, and I'm going to read them in his words because English is not his first language. He said, I noted from the last event, my Nick can kill the Ryukai infantry in 2 hits. I have seen many videos, and I noticed that their Nick can kill the same infantry in 1 hit. I asked myself, why is the same unit at the same level and the same hero tech equipped exactly the same? Then why is there a difference in the effectiveness? I asked the same thing. The leader of the sector that I was in, she asked the same thing. There were more than 40 of us that were asking the same thing in the same sector. Not to mention all of you who were coming to the official channels and the unofficial channels and saying, what the hell happened to Nick? I built the Nick from its release with a 2-clip size. I upgraded him from level 1 to level 5. I set the hero tech. One of them is +1 clip size. And then they released a 3 size clip for Nick at level 5. Each clip is 2 missiles. For example, 6 missiles at once. But he did not work effectively. Sometimes he fired only one clip only. In other words, he had not done anything to his Nick. He had not taken his hero tech off. He hadn't changed anything to it. He didn't take his diamond tech off. He did absolutely nothing, but it was only firing 1 clip. Now, how do we know this? Because we know our units. Because we use them every day. And if we don't use them every day, we use them on a fairly regular basis. Nick is an integral part of this game. We use our units more than Kixeye tests them. There's nothing wrong with that. Kixeye's job is to provide us content, but when we notice something has changed, it is our job to make sure that we hold Kixeye accountable when something doesn't work correctly. I said, maybe someone's running the destroyer for more efforts. Maybe his boost wasn't working. His 25% alliance boost wasn't working. In his mind, he was thinking, oh shoot, maybe we forgot to turn the destroyer bonus on. For those of you who are in alliance, you understand what I'm talking about. Maybe something turned it off. Maybe there was an extra maintenance that he didn't know about. He went back and he checked and he said, no, that wasn't it. He said, it worked good and it killed the same infantry with one shot, but still my nick was not working as effectively as their nick was. Sometimes it seemed like it had one clip, sometimes it seemed like it had two, but it never fired like it did before the Ryukai event. So this was his solution. His first solution, which was like everybody else, was to just completely unequip his nick, refresh his game. When I say refresh your game, just don't hit the refresh. Get out of your game, run a full cleaner, and come back into the game brand new, just like you had never loaded the game. Come back into the game brand new. It didn't work. His nick was performing exactly the way that it was when he unequipped it and then re-equipped it. So we know that that didn't work. How many of us have done that and that was the trick? How many of us have taken like a hero tech off and then just refreshed the game, put the hero tech back on, and the unit is right as rain? Everything's fine. We don't have an explanation for it. It just works. Who cares why it was broken? We just want it to work. And then what do? We get on Discord. We get on KXL. We get on all the Facebook pages and we say, look, this is the workaround. It worked for us. Let me show you. Look, I promise you, if you do this, it'll work. And then what do you get back from somebody? You don't get a 25-minute conversation. You don't get a 20-minute video like you're going to get from me. This will probably be longer than 25 minutes because I'm so pissed off. You don't get a video from someone. You get a thanks, mate. That fixed it. I'm back on the map. See ya. And they're gone because it fixed what they needed. It didn't work for him. So what he did was he scrapped his nick and then he refreshed his game. This is something that Samara and I have realized about the game, especially since where he is when he's trying to reach the servers of Kixeye. Okay, I do the same thing, even though I'm in the United States, but I always try to encourage people who are outside of the United States that if you're going to do anything major like this, to just refresh your, like completely refresh your game and log back into the computer. So he scrapped his nick and he refreshed his game. He built it again. Yes, it was expensive, but it's an instant build because it's Thor. And then he refreshed his game. Then he set the hero tech and the rest of the tech that he equipped it with, and he refreshed his game. And then he did a test. And this was his words. I did the test now. Wow, wow, wow. My nick can now kill the same infantry in one shot without returning any ops. He can shoot on 3 targets at the same time. Now he's working effectively and his damage has increased to 20 to 25%. I am so pleased that I took the time to do this. So I'll leave that up there. You guys can see it. This is what most of us use for our nick. If you use something different, that's totally up to you. Please don't hate on me. This is what I use. If you use something different, that's your prerogative. So my point to this video, and I'll try to make it short, is this. It doesn't mean just because there was a problem with nick that there's a problem with every single unit on that maintenance. That has not been, in the history that I've been a moderator, 8 years in January, and that includes other Kixeye games, that has not been the norm. That when one unit gets fubarred or appears to be nerfed, that it affects every single unit in game. I have gotten some information from players that said that their devouts are doing the same thing. That their controllers are not firing as fast. That their aces are flying too slow. I've noticed for months that my aces are not flying in the pattern that they used to fly. Has Kixeye done this on purpose? I don't know. Can I prove it? Nope. Because I don't have anything from 6 months ago to compare to something to today. that would be exactly the same. First of all, there's an AI box removal right in the middle of that. Is this an AI box removal problem? I don't know. Have I reported it? Yes, I have. Did I make a suggestion yesterday that if you were having a problem with a unit to scrap a few and to make a comparison? Absolutely, I did. You want to know why I did? Because it worked. I didn't do it off the seat of my pants. It worked. Why would I recommend doing something like that that is so drastic, which means you have to become a Thor whore to go get the Thor to rebuild the unit. Now let's just talk about Nick for a minute. I think he's 70 mil. Don't quote me on that one, but I think it's 70 mil. You got to go out and get your become a Thor whore. You got to go get your Thor, and then you got to go into your workshop, and then you have to re-equip it. So fucking what? If your Nick seemed like it was nerfed for the event, and all it takes is for you to scrap the motherfucker, and then go become a Thor whore, get 70 million Thor, and then re-equip him, and then he's right as rain, and he's just like he was before the event. I don't know if it was the event. I don't know if it was the AI box removal. I don't know what caused Nick not to perform like he should have. But there are 40 plus people who were in on that conversation, and every single one of us did the same thing. We on purpose did it on an unofficial Kickside channel for a reason. Because we are players. Because we know this game like the back of our hands. And when something doesn't work right, I don't have time for somebody to tell me, well, we can't recreate it. You know what that is to me? It's like a fucking car mechanic telling me when I go to take my car in to get it fixed. I know what's wrong with it. I'm just 56 fucking years old, and I'm too old, too lazy, and too fucking fat to crawl underneath of it and fix it myself. I'm willing to pay somebody $175 an hour for labor to fix the goddamn thing. They turn around and have somebody tell me, oh, we can't recreate it, so we don't know what you're talking about? What do you mean you can't recreate it so we don't know what you're talking about? I just told you how to fix it. I went and bought the parts for you. I told you what to do. You take the undercarriage off of my car. You put my car on the lift. You take the flex pipe off. You get the new one that I just gave you, and you weld the motherfucker on there, and my car won't make that noise anymore. And then it'll be fixed. So when you hear from the community, a player, one player, 2 players, 10 players, 40 plus players, when you hear players that come to you and say, yes, this did work for me, give it a try. If you're not getting the answer that you think that you should be getting, then give it a try. What do you have to lose? You're no worse off than you were before your unit was nerfed, right? I'm not saying it was done on purpose. Let's not use the word nerfed. Fubarred. It has happened to us before in the past. It will happen to us again. And I'm here to tell you as a player, I shouldn't have to prove that what I know that worked perfectly well 2 months ago, 3 months ago, 6 months ago, a year ago, I shouldn't have to prove that what doesn't work now is broken. It's too late for me to recreate it for Kickside now. I done already fixed my Nick. Yeah, I went redneck on that comment. I lost my grammar for a second. Oh well. Fuck me, slap me on the ass, and send me to the moon. I can't recreate it for kicks now. I fixed my nick. And so do 40 plus other people that I rely on every single day. When I can't come up with an answer and Kixeye says to me, we can't recreate it, can you come up with the video? Jesus, mother of Pete. The only thing I wanted to do was fix my nick so it would work right. I can't go backwards in time. I don't know what happened to it to fubar it, but I can't re-fubar it. That's like going back to the mechanic's office and saying, well, this is the fix. Let me go back and get that piece of shit part that you had that's sitting in the dumpster. Let me undo everything that you did that was right. Try to put my fubar piece of shit on my vehicle and drive around so you can hear it go, ah! What kind of shit is that? If it works, then do it. If it works for you, do it. Don't go whining to Kixeye because you have to go out and become a Thor whore to fix it. Test it first. But if you have one person who tells you that it worked for them, ask them to give you a video. If you have 10 people who said it worked for them, maybe you might want to start believing it. If you have 20 people, 30 people, 40 people, or more who are telling you that it worked for them, you might want to believe it. And what do you have to lose? Scrap the unit, go out and get yourself some Thor, remember to refresh your game between each step, and then go out and test it. And if it works for you, tell everybody on your team that it worked. Don't go bitch to Kixeye about it just because they can't recreate it. They got enough shit on their plate now. Their job is to provide us content and to keep the game rolling. They don't have the bandwidth right now, which we keep saying over and over again. You guys hear it on the Drake's Dungeons. You hear it on the podcast. You see it and you read it on the post that comes from the lead engineers and the president of the company. Oh, sorry. Let me get this right. Not the president of the company. The president of War Commander, or what we would like to call the lead producer, who's Friendly Fixer. You guys read that information. What that means is there's a limited amount of bandwidth that each company has. Every company in the world has a limited amount of bandwidth that they can use, just like your ISP, your Internet Service Provider, ISP, Internet Service Provider. There is a limit on how much you can suck down for your $50 a month, $35 a month, $100 a month, $150 a month, $175 a month. That's US. There are people who spend that much money for their internet because they need it. They need it for work and they want it for gaming. That's great. That's fabulous. But if your grandkid's upstairs streaming YouTube and your wife is in the kitchen watching Julia Childs or something, and then your daughter's upstairs watching, I don't know, freaking Twilight on Netflix, and you're trying to play War Commander, you're a low man on the pole, motherfucker. Because you're not streaming anything. War Commander is a relay game. You have to get hops and skips and jumps to get to their servers and hops and skips and jumps back again. Streaming takes precedence. Right now, Kixeye is trying to keep this game running while they're trying to convert it to HTML5. And they have to do it by the end of the year because, as I have said before, and I will say it again, there is a dead date for Flash. It's December 31st of this year. Flash will be dead. So if your Lancers don't get fixed, oh well, use something else. If your other stuff doesn't get fixed, oh well, use something else. If a moderator or a player or a group of people make a suggestion to you to do something to fix a unit that you think is nerfed or fubarred, give it a try. What's the worst that can happen? You're no worse off than you were when you thought your unit was fubarred. And if you don't have the diamond tech for your nick, your Nick is not going to perform like our Nick does. And if you're not in an alliance and you don't run your alliance boost, you will not get the 25% destroyer damage that we get. So even if you scrap your Nick, and even if you re-equip him and your diamond tech is only a 1, you're screwed. If you're not in alliance and you don't run your alliance boost, you're fucking screwed, dude. That's it. That's the reason why your Nick doesn't perform well. But if you're like the rest of us that noticed there was something wrong with Nick, but we couldn't figure out what it was, here's your answer. I'm waving this piece of paper that I read from JB Samar. That's your answer. Scrap him, rebuild him, take a picture of it before you scrap him in case you don't know what it looks like. Scrap him, rebuild him, or message me and I'll send you a picture of Samar's schematic for him. And you can equip him that way. But remember those things. When there's a downtime, you have no alliance boost. They're gone. 0. Out. When there's an emergency downtime, your alliance boosts are gone. Your destroyer boost, gone. That 25% damage that you're used to getting is gone. If he's in your base, that 25% guardian damage, he's gone. He's not going to protect you as much as he would normally protect you. And if your diamond tech is level 1 or 2 or 3, you're not getting what everybody else is getting. If you're frustrated by the kind of answers that you're getting back from the game team, as a player, I am right there with you. As a moderator, I appreciate those of you who are keeping your cool. Those of you who are losing your cool, as a moderator, I have no choice but to reach out to you on a PM or to make a post right underneath of your post and remove your post. We can either be cool about it and work on this together, one step at a time, and continue to play the game that we love to play because of all the people that we met. I don't think we continue to play this game because of KixEye. Yeah, I know you guys have a lot more money in this game than I do. I play this game because of all the people that I met and the friendships that I've made and the people that I've met all around the world and the support that I have gotten both personally and professionally in game. That's why I play this game. I don't play this game to put money in KixEye's pockets. If you want to put money in KixEye's pockets, that's fine. Go ahead. But that doesn't entitle you to anything. You don't get any kind of special treatment because you decide to coin something or because you decide to spend $1,000 a week in the game. That gives you no special privileges. It just means that you're better than, your shit's better than mine. So what? If you're crazy enough to spend $1,000 a week in this game, I'm excited for you because it gives you that instant gratification that you're looking for. It's no different than if I go to the grocery store and spend $10 for a steak and you go to a restaurant and spend $100 for a steak. I'm going to eat my steak medium rare. You're going to eat your steak medium rare. And guess what? Next year, it's still going to come out as a pile of shit. Except you spent the $100 for your pile of shit, and I spent $20 for mine. Remember what's important in the game. It's the friends and the camaraderie. And if there's something that we say that may work, remember that we are players first and moderators second. Yes, we represent the company, but if we have an idea of something that did work and I tell you that it did work, and if I say to you in a PM, yes, it worked for me, there's no way for me to go backwards and prove to you that it didn't work because I can't re-fubar my Nick. JB Samar cannot re-fubar his Nick. The 40 plus people in the sector that all did the same thing that he made suggestions to, every single one of them, their Nick worked better. Now, mind you, some of them realized that their diamond techs were only level 1. Guess what they're working on in their workshop right now? But even at a level 1, they noticed there was something wrong with their Nick. So we know it wasn't the diamond tech that was wrong. We know that it wasn't the alliance boost that was wrong, because out of those 40 people who participated in that testing, more than half of those 40 people are in the same alliance. Our alliance boosters are, my alliance boosters, my team, our alliance boosters are always running, unless there's a maintenance, of course. And then we run them again. We always have extra. Whatever happened to Nick, I don't know. Has it happened to units in the past? Yes, it has. Do you all know what the hell I'm talking about right now? The fuck you do? Yes, you do. So take my 6 years of playing War Commander, 6+ years, 7 years barely playing as a basically a base fodder, so all the other bigger guys could go hit the bigger guys. Take my experience in War Commander and throw it out the fucking window, and look at your experience in War Commander and your experience with Kixeye games. And I know some of you have played other Kixeye games, and I know what happens when somehow or another a unit gets fubarred. We don't know why. And it doesn't matter to me whether or not they can recreate it or not. We came up with a workaround and it works. So try it. If it doesn't work for you, then you're no worse off than you were before you said that you thought that your unit was fubarred. But I promise you, the 40+ people who did do it, their Nick works like it did work months ago. Give it a try. See what you think and let me know. If you need another picture, you can always watch the video and take a screen capture of JB Smar. If you need a picture, let me know. If this video helped you, fine. If it pissed you off, I'm fine with that too. If you don't like hearing my voice, I'm sorry. Then don't watch my videos. I don't know why you did in the first place. If you like the video, please hit the thumbs up button. If you want to like and subscribe, please feel free to do that. I hope to do a pinup party video about bandwidth and what's been happening with a lot of you with your disconnects, which has nothing to do with the flash crashes, and explain to you about bandwidth and try to explain to you about what Kixeye is trying to do with migrate the game from flash, fix all the glitches that are broken, fix all the bugs in the game, and still not run out of bandwidth and to actually run the game. So I bid you all a good evening, good day, and good night. Love you. This is Skipjack with Pinup Party. Bye!